Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. So in this video we are going to be talking about the UEFA Champions League draw that did take place today. And so to be honest, as a Barcelona fan, I could not ask for like a harder route to get to the final, because we did get one of the hardest routes to get to that final stage. And so what we are going to do today is predict how these matches are going to go and who I think is going to pass through and what teams are going to be eliminated. And since we still do have the round of 16 matches here, I'm going to predict those matches. I'm going to explain why I think that team is going to progress, and then we're going to move on to the quarterfinals, semifinals, and the finals prediction. And when we get to that quarterfinal, semifinal like stage, that area, I'm just going to give you guys the answer on who I think is going to progress onto the next stage and not really go into detail about it because I don't want this video to be too long. And so we do have Leipzig versus Atletico Madrid, we have Atalanta versus PSG, and now we are going to predict the Real Madrid versus Manchester City. And so this will be a match that everyone is going to be watching. I think that everyone, including Barcelona fans, Manchester United fans, everyone is going to be watching this match because everyone wants to see what is Manchester City going to do in this stage. Like when they are in a situation where they do have the upper hand, when they do have the first win, which is in the first leg, which ended up being 2-1, is Manchester City going to continue to dethrone Real Madrid and take them out from the round of 16, or are they going to completely bottle it? And could Real Madrid come back from this loss? And it's going to be extremely hard for Real Madrid to come back because this is going to be in Manchester. So Manchester City will be playing at home. And looking at Manchester City's deadly force and seeing how they have been playing recently, like against Newcastle, Liverpool, Burnley, they have been completely trashing these teams. And because of Manchester City's deadly force and their ability to always find those goals, I really do think that this version of Manchester City can beat Real Madrid in Manchester. And if we look at Real Madrid and we look at their recent form, yes, have they won? Of course, but they're barely beating teams like Espanyol, Getafe like 1-0. And so Real Madrid right now are really finding it tough to find those goals. And so I really do think that City is going to win at home. And there's multiple factors on why I think that. Is because yes, City is a great team right now. They also know that there could potentially be a UCL ban where they might not even see or be in this competition for the next 2 years. Then we also know that Guardiola is closing in on his contract. He has like about a year left with Manchester City, and I know that his players do want to do something great for their coach. And I know that Manchester City wants to make a big statement, and there is no better way to make that statement against Real Madrid. And so I'm going to have to say that Manchester City go through. Moving on to the next match, we have Juventus versus Lyon. We know that Lyon is winning 1-0, and we also know that Lyon's season has ended very early, and so going into the UCL, Lyon is going to go through friendlies before going to the UCL. But I think that because of those friendlies and knowing that their intensity is nowhere near when it comes to heading into the UCL, I think that that's going to greatly affect Lyon. And I also know that Juventus greatly wants the UCL, and to me, I'm going to be very optimistic for Juventus. I think that Juventus are going to come back from this, especially knowing that they have Ronaldo, and Ronaldo does come in moments like this. So I'm going to have to say that Juventus progress. Now moving on to the next match, and we are going to be talking about Barcelona versus Napoli. And so look, Barcelona has not had the best season, right? We know that they have drew teams against teams that we're not supposed to be tying against, and we have had multiple unconvincing wins throughout this whole season. But to be very honest, like, yes, we're second place, and second place is not that bad. Yes, should we always expect to be in first place and win that league title? Of course. This is FC Barcelona. We have won 99% of those league titles over the past 10 years. But if we're going to be second place, I don't think that the Barcelona fans should really beat themselves up for this, because what I have been seeing throughout every FC Barcelona fan is that, oh, because we are second place, we're not even going to make it into the UCL. That's not how it works. Sometimes we are going to fail, and that is what every club has to go through. We can't continue to put our heads down and say that Barcelona is not going to have a great season just because we're second place. Like, I would understand if we were 5th, 6th, or 7th place, but we're second place. It's really not that bad. We can't continue to put down Barcelona like that. And so I'm going to have to say that even though we're second place, I think that we're going to make a very big statement and a very big mark in this season Champions UCL. And going against Napoli, I know that it's not going to be an easy match. I understand how great Napoli is. And in the last match, we did tie against them 1-1. But in that last game between Napoli and FC Barcelona, when we did play in Italy, Quique Setien was very new on coaching FC Barcelona. Like, he literally just came in. And we were in a moment and in a phase where we had to find out, what is Barcelona going to look like under Quique Setien? And I think that now, if you were to ask me that, I think that we have a much better image on understanding what Barcelona is going to look like under this coach. Because back then, during that 1-1-0 tie against Napoli, we had Griezmann playing on the left wing, continuing to show that he does not belong in that position, and yet he did score. And we also had Vidal playing as right wing. And so Barcelona really had everything screwed up. We were lost. We did not know how we wanted to play and what we wanted to look like. But now, if you were to tell me, we are going to bring this Barcelona that played 2 to 3 days ago against this Napoli, I really do think that Barcelona has a great chance. Because now we have Griezmann, who found his position. He's playing much more central. It seems like it's really starting to work. We have Suarez coming back. We have Riqui Puig, a rising midfielder, a rising star in general, really finding a spot in this FC Barcelona team. And so there are more pros than cons when it comes to FC Barcelona right now. This is a team that continues to find themselves and understand what this Barcelona team is. Are we in that final version where we can say this is the best version of FC Barcelona? No, we're not, but we are progressing. And now that we have more choices and more players are coming back, the more choices you have, the more adaptable you're going to be in that match. And that is why I'm going to say that Barcelona go through against Napoli. Now going on to the last match of the round of 16, and that's going to be between Bayern Munich and Chelsea. So if we look at the last game, we can see that Bayern Munich won Chelsea 3-0. And this game, on paper, it looks like Chelsea cannot come back from this, because looking at Bayern's recent form and seeing how badly Chelsea blew their lead at their own home, it's almost clear that Bayern is going to go through. Now, historically, when we do see Bayern and Chelsea play against each other, it always comes off as a great match. So just like the Manchester City versus Real Madrid, this will be another match to watch. And so since I'm going to predict the second leg of this match, if we look at the recent form of Chelsea and seeing how we are really starting to see something special from Chelsea, I don't think that Bayern is going to find this very easy like they did last time. Yes, is it going to be at Bayern's home? Of course, they're always going to have that advantage, but I think that Chelsea is going to come in with a real fight. And I think that a great way to know how Chelsea is going to go up against Bayern Munich is when we do see Chelsea go up against Manchester United in the FA and go up against Liverpool in the Premier League. That's going to be a great indicator on how Chelsea is going to confront Bayern Munich, because Chelsea do have a big mountain to climb, and I think that this is going to be a very high scoring match. But with that being said, regardless of how much Chelsea has improved since playing against Bayern, I think that Bayern is going to go through, because right now Bayern is simply just too strong. And so Bayern goes through against Chelsea, and that will conclude the round of 16 matches. And with that being said, we are going to have Atletico Madrid versus Leipzig, PSG versus Atalanta, Manchester City versus Juventus, and Barcelona versus Bayern Munich. And so, like I said before, I could not ask for a harder route. Barcelona will be going through some very serious stuff in this Champions League, and it makes me very excited. It brings a smile to my face, because my adrenaline goes so high on just knowing on the potential teams we might face. It gets me so excited. It doesn't matter if I know that Barcelona may not be ready to go up against teams like this, but if there was one team that would really pull off a one-match win, it would be FC Barcelona. And I'm not saying this because I'm a Barcelona fan, right? Because this is a Barcelona channel. I'm saying this because historically, Barcelona always pulls off these wins when it comes to a one-off match. And that's where I'm going to go with this. I'm going to predict the Barcelona versus Bayern Munich match first, because many people, and I've seen many fans and many people on the media really say that we are going to get completely hammered by Bayern. We are going to be completely beaten by Bayern. There's no chance Barcelona is going to win against Bayern Munich. But I'm going to be here and I'm going to stand by FC Barcelona, and I'm going to make this bold prediction that Barcelona will be beating Bayern Munich. And I understand that Bayern is in a very good form right now, but the one disadvantage that Bayern do have right now is that Bayern Munich's league schedule ended 6 days ago, which means that Bayern will not have any matches before facing Barcelona, meaning that Bayern will not have time to prep. They will not be playing against teams as a mini preseason before heading to play against Barcelona. I think that is one of the biggest advantages Barcelona has against Bayern Munich. Yes, is it because they do have that one-off match, which is whoever wins in this match progresses? Yes, they have that. But Barcelona also have the advantage to continue to play until July 19th, which means that they're only going to have 2 weeks of break and then go up against Bayern Munich. So I'm going to say that Barcelona beats Bayern Munich. And just a side note, right? I think that if Barcelona end up beating Napoli, it is because Barcelona have picked it up, meaning they have finally found their form. And I think that if Barcelona continues to find themselves and find what team they are, which they have been doing over the past 2 weeks, and rise the tempo of their game, I think that Barcelona is going to peak at the right moment. And again, that is why I say Barcelona will beat Bayern. It's a very bold prediction. I understand many people are going to say Bayern are going to completely hammer Barcelona, but Barcelona do have those advantages too. Moving on to the City versus Juventus, I think that this is going to be a very tight match. I think that this is going to be City's attack versus Juventus experience, because Juventus is that team that have great experience, but the experience can only take you so high, right? Because looking at Juventus versus AC Milan and seeing how they completely bottled that 2-0 lead, Juventus defense right now is not where it should be. And then understanding City's threat and their attacking threat and seeing how they're able to find those goals, I think that City will go past Juventus. Moving on to PSG versus Atalanta, many people have said that PSG have one of the easiest ties here. Yes, compared to what other teams do have to face against, PSG have one of the easiest ties, but it won't be an easy match. I think that this will be a very tough match. I think that one of the advantages Atalanta do have against PSG is that Atalanta's season has not finished yet. PSG's season finished about 4 weeks ago. Now, PSG are going to have friendlies. They are going to have about 3 to 4 matches before they do face Atalanta, but I just don't see those friendlies, like that type of intensity and frequency, really fixing what PSG is going to have to go through when they do go into the UEFA Champions League. But then again, PSG do have those players. They have those superstars that can make those difference, which is Mbappe and Neymar Jr. And so I'm going to have to say that even though Atalanta do have more advantages over PSG, PSG simply have the better stars and quality. So I'm going to have to say that PSG move on from this match and PSG takes that win. Moving on to Atletico Madrid versus Leipzig. This is actually a very easy prediction to make, because looking at Leipzig's condition right now and knowing that they lost Timo Werner, which is greatly going to affect how they move forward to get those goals, and because Leipzig have lost their main star man and they're going to go up against a UCL experienced contender, I think that Atletico Madrid is going to come off a win. When we are talking about Atletico Madrid, defensively, they are just way too hard to get through. You have to have the level of Manchester City's attack or Real Madrid's attack or Bayern Munich attack to really be able to get through that defense. And I think that Leipzig do not have enough to beat Atletico Madrid. So Atletico Madrid goes through. And so now with those teams progressing, the semifinal will be Atletico Madrid versus PSG and City versus FC Barcelona. And just for the sake of not making this video way too long, my quick predictions is going to be Atletico Madrid versus FC Barcelona final. And so that'll be it for today's UEFA Champions League predictions. Yes, is this a very bold prediction? Of course it is. It makes me very excited to see Barcelona potentially going up against Bayern Munich and then City and then Atletico Madrid. This is going to be one hell of a ride. I cannot wait. Barcelona will go through that final because the big advantage that they do have is that one-off match, and Barcelona is extremely experienced when it comes to those matches. And so let me know what you guys think. I know that many of you guys are going to have different predictions. Many of you guys might have City versus PSG final, which is okay, or maybe a Bayern versus Atletico Madrid final. Let me know your predictions down below. Again, I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.